אוקיי, הייתי חייב. אם זה יעבוד לי מתישהו, אז לפחות אני אעשה את זה בפרק השני. אני אפעיל עכשיו את הרקורדינג, כי אובייסלי, אם הלייב הזה לא שורד, אז זה הולך לרקורדינג. אבל, פעם קודמת, הגענו אוקיי. אסביר קצת האמת דברים. נלך לגיים סלקשן. כן, הפעם אני אשכרה בכוונה הלכתי למוזיאון. יש בהחלט הרבה דברים. אבל באפולוג'סטס, אם אני מסתכל לדוגמה על אפיסוד 1 לדוגמה, יש פה כמה דברים. דרך הטרייל. אז כאילו, יש כמות דברים שצריך לעשות. ואז אם אני הולך לדוגמה פה, אפיסוד 2, Turnabout Corner. אז כאילו אומרת דרך ה-investigation, דרך ה-trial, day 2 investigation, day 2 trial. ואז כאילו יש כותרות לכל סקשן. וככה זה בעצם יעבוד. שזה בהחלט אינטרסטינג. בכל מקרה, בוא נעשה load ל-resuming של ה-trial. אז בואו נעשה את זה. עכשיו באמת ששיניתי קצת דברים, האמת. קוד לכל עדיין נשאר E, אבל היסטוריה אני שיניתי ל-H. שעל הדרך זה עדיין אוקיי, לא ידעתי שבהיסטוריה זה עדיין שומר את מה שהיה קודם. אז קודם דיברנו עם פיניקס בנוגע לטסטמוני. אז יש סיכוי שהאופשנס אפשר לשנות ל-O? או ש-O תפוס משהו. לא, אפשר לעשות אופשנס כ-O. זה לא ישפיע על שום כפתור אחר. הנה, אוקיי. עכשיו זה יעזור, בהחלט. אז 20 באפריל, 12:14, דיסטי קורטרו מספר 2. עדיין שכחתי שאני... עדיין בטריה. איך שכחתי את זה? Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orally, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing, you see. She's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orally take the stand. Okay, Christoph. Okay. Very well. The witness will take the stand. היי, שוב. שנייה. כן, אולגה אולי. 21. The witness in this case, a Russian waitress at the Borscht Ball Club. משהו השתנה במקרה? לא. The evidence. דיברנו על זה שהקלף של הויקטם הוא בעצם היה אחד שהשתנה. הקלפים של הויקטם? הקלף של הויקטם, סליחה, הוא הקלף שהשתנה. Okay. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you mean that you're a poor liar and a poorer loser. Not. Whoa! Hi. Name's Olga Orly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People can call me Olga Quickfingers Orly. Oh. Oh, really? Oh my god. But did I have something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like, oh really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Okay. Really? With this, you will tell the court about what you were really up to that night. Fine, I talked. With a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Porsche Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. Well, it was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand. And deal 5 aces during one of their games. When hands were revealed, Mr. Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. Swap the cards. Exposed as a cheer and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed, getting caught red-handed, cheating would cast doubt on his prior wins. 7-year legend, destroyed by one low card. That was the plan. Okay. Oh, really, Orly? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I read the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right! He's lucky, I'll give him that. He would have to slip free. Had to be slip free from a trap laid by like Quick Fingers Orly. Oh, really? Judge, the sick. The witness would be much curious if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Oh. Okay, כולם מטומטמים, I get it. When you're through with being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. I don't know. The best laid traps. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright put up a ball and swung it. Wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect! And a Rod Cheer hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking! Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. But this is like her. Who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Okay. Planted the card, then Wright lost, and then Smith searched. But the card was gone. Like, small Wright picked up a ball and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. אם זכרו לי דיברו בנוגע לאולגה כל הזמן מחטטת על הראש? Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Right, thoroughly, and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh! What's that? What was that just now? I sensed something. Is that wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. I do. That person a little harder? Bless! It's orderly. You're hiding something. What are you talking about? You? Me? Weak fingers only. Oh my god! Hiding something again? Hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You said you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is that true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw him right here. With my own eyes, I saw it. Interesting. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? Touch the back of her neck. כן. זה בערך מה שקורה פה. Touching her neck, was it? Whoa! 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 What's going on? This sensation. It's going into focus. There, a twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit. Like you could before. Okay, perceive! Gotcha! זה הכי חלש. Miss Orally, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. What? My neck? So what? One indeed, Justice. ושכחתי להשתיק. תודה רבה. One indeed, Justice. I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. Memory? So we can't explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. Claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So I will remind her most of the moment of the crime. Sorely, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. Now this happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an incredible impression on your neck is obviously a murder weapon. Take that! Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And one reminds us more of the moment than this ball, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith who hit the victim. The victim who was hit, not you. אוקיי, חייב לברר משהו, אני כבר חוזר. זה טוב זה. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. If the witnesses' habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit I'm a little bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll tell you, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. That I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. Maya, but he's the one who did. I didn't let him out of my seat until the cops got there. That's hella obvious. הוא ליטרלי זה שהתקשר למשטרה. Objection! Yay. Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It stated that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Yes! Wow! מה בערך לדעת משהו? Who picked up the ball and swung it that night? Was it the defendant? The Smith? Oh. זה שוב. Showdown time. Third cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Ah! Just then, Smith grabbed the ball from next to right and hit me. Some master of Ching you turned out to be. Ooh. Hey. Okay, wow. When it came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's right. I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out I was in the league with Smith, I'll be a suspect for sure. אבל ליטרלי, עכשיו הטענה של הדפנס זה שיש third party, לא? Well, where does that leave us? Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! It must have been me who was hit with a ball and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end. And frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin? What do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big, fat liar. What? 3 were in that room at the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot failed. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer! It's a trap! Someone's trying to free me! What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. And Mr. Right! Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? But there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. White was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of the cards were being used. A fourth person.
This theory again. Your fourth person doesn't exist.
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there is no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
Real criminal?
And luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided to us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Well, perhaps you know what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error.
He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards.
Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had the impression that too, but why? Well, Paul, think I can figure it out who it was?
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this fourth person? I know I was get put on the spot like this. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue?
Maganda, gusto mo long. Dame, tayo.
Obviously. Monsieur Christophe!
Zakończę cholasą.
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair.
I was right?
Christophe Gavin, you were the fourth person that night.
Of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards.
How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table.
But look! You can see the colors in this photo.
Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light.
Wreathed in blue flame. Oh.
Well, Christophe?
Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin! Is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right? You're not seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christophe? You know, even I would never take a joke this far.
Ooh. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. And the fact that accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
I assure you, I'm quite sane.
What possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to do with the victim?
I was unaware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith, either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what did they have?
Huh?
There is a possibility, after all. That they may have met that night, before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Ray was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do.
It's right! The defense would like to request that you do it. Whoa! That you testify to the court. Objection.
The defense would like to request no such thing.
Mr. Gavin?
Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of the poker? Before that game of poker be familiar?
בדרך כלל דברים שקורים לפני קשורים למוטיב, אז... כן.
Sure, I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley...
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh,
Okay.
As the court, in your opinion, need to hear
Yes!
this was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along.
I intend to see it through.
The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court.
And to Justice, you would betray me, your teacher.
Sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please.
Okay.
That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Chase Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, we're at the worst ball club on the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in the murder. I thought I might be in the need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice? Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. How can I have a normal trial?
כי זה אייס אטרני, זה למה. אני לא אתרגל לפנים כל הזמן תצים. במקרה של קרוס. Gustav and I had dinner, we sat in the table. Shady walked 5 minutes after Christoph left. When trap failed, Smith hit waitress. Girl knocked out cold, Smith was controlled by the police. When I turned he was dead, blood streaming from a cut under his forehead. That's when I made another call to the defense attorney, Gavin.
Hold it!
5 minutes? So, you told them could have passed in the restaurant during that time.
That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. White, what was it you said? Mr. Gavin and Chase Swift may have met.
I believe I did say that.
I was all nervous about their speeding. Now we hear they just passed in the hall.
Doesn't seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. I would be, if that were all that really happened.
Oh, Mr. White, what are you hiding this time?
I was not that cold and slim was uncontrollable. I let you call the police. Where they could have his dead blood stream.
And when we returned, the victim was already
Dead. Yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. Lil? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I was probably startled too. I walked in and it seemed like that.
That's why man and I called to Gavin. Can you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I obviously got involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Gustav's law officers would give me a friend ready for my defense fees. Ah, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Gustav. It was I who got you involved after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. White was talking about? Just this. You know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. I think. Is Mr. White trying to tell me with this testimony?
The truth has to be in there somewhere. מה כריסטופוס? זה כאילו רוצה למחוק כל קונקשן שיש להם בוויקטום. Made a call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct?
Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout.
Was anyone else on the first floor at that time?
No soul. It was the middle of the night, after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone.
When I returned, he was dead. That dinner with Mr. Gavin.
Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner on our spot. As usual.
Usual?
I always eat at the table closest to the piano.
I see.
Or was Mr. Smith's?
So, the plates on the table were from your dinner.
Indeed. No remnants of my meal with Gustav. We dined for 2 hours, then Gustav left. After that,
Shady back in 5 minutes. What is failed trap? This is the same trap that Miss Olga orally mentioned. Plant the card. As if a cloth. As if a cloth.
yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card.
The card you planted.
this? I snuck a peek at it and found it was the Five of Hearts. I had a feeling that something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. That's colorful. Really? Che literally un po' cloth.
Well, it's between the deceiver and the would-be deceived.
That sounds like a terrific drama. Card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
That's right. The pokerhead of court number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information.
I discovered a trap during the game and disposed of the card in the ball.
By cloth.
Objection!
Mr. White, if I may,
Yes?
I've examined the ball and I don't see any card in here.
No.
What, Mr. White? Surely, isn't all you have to say for yourself?
Can't say that I know what happened to the card. I didn't put it in the bottle, however.
Huh?
Perhaps the fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and the sixth person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. White is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
Won't have you disparaging our investigation either. Look inside the ball. There was nothing.
What's going on? Mr. Wright, hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear?
שום דבר לא יכול להיעלם, זה לא קסם, אפולו. באמת.
In any case, please continue with the cross-examination. I'm afraid the sense of contradiction called for decisive evidence. Oh!
Push him hard, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Well, I get the thing we're not on our client's side anymore. I found he was dead. Blood stain from his forehead.
Had moved during investigation. Oh!
Yeah.
This is safe. Options. אם מעט היה לפני investigation.
Objection!
Okay. Mr. Wright, if I may,
Yes?
take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He is wearing a hat. Would think you could see blood on his forehead.
Good point.
Just say.
Justice, Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
Ah, I forgot to mention something. How about someone who put that hat on his head?
Huh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head?
Word for our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, said head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And
I picked his hat off the floor and put it on his head.
why would you do such a thing like that?
All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene.
So, Orly didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head.
I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again.
Mr. Gavin?
Pardon? It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case.
Hey, he's still a client, isn't he?
I believe that's enough of that.
Mr. Gavin?
The witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's real with lies. I'm getting to see how you came up to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Oh. אפשר עוד explanation בנוגע לזה?
I think I'm 7 years ago? Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone.
Mr. Wright! If you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never.
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here.
Huh?
When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bowl to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
A reason?
That reason is right here.
Your cell phone?
That night, the caller spoke with Defendant Attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we are all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back to the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you. It turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean that someone cracked that flawless bone chiller plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Bone chiller plate? Kind of a porcelain, very smooth and shiny, and not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead.
The court appreciates the defendant's discretion is not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Bush Bowl Club.
Most certainly.
Then how did he know? When did he see his bone china pate?
Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light.
או. איכשהו כריסטוף ידע בעצם על הפורהד. גם אפילו שאין את זה.
Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come back by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
כריסטוף? האם אתה גילטי?
So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's head back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this. Has it, Phoenix Wright?
Order. I'll have order, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor?
I believe this court has been left with no other choice.
Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as the prosecutor, I...
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. ואני יודע, זה רק אני או שהקורטרום נראה הרבה יותר גדול? כאילו, זה מרגיש לי קונסיסטנטלי, אבל באמת זה מרגיש לי שהקורטרום כאילו הרבה יותר גדול מאשר מהאייס הטרנית של הג'י, אז כאילו, רק אומר. אולי זה ישתנה גם אחר כך. לא יודע. ה-20 באפריל, 3:22, דיסטריקט קורט דפנדנט לובי 3. כמה ברייקים מלאים משמעות? Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have the thought today would turn out like this? Oh! Oh my god! Okay. יש לי משהו. May I? Hi! Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please, pick a card.
What's this all about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
Nice. Where do you remember that card from? ויש טיפה! ה-fifth ace. האס החמישי. The missing fifth ace. Wait, there's a bunch of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in his hands. I know you can do it.
There's one stained card. It's my trump card for finding the truth? Fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. A fifth ace. האס החמישי. A girl. I've seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Oh! עכשיו אני מבין! למה החליף את הבגדים שלה מהאדום לכחול? כאילו, האדום נראה מאוד יפה. כאילו, לי יש בייסים לאדום. shut up. לי יש פשוט בייסים לאדום. 24:45 דקות, קורטום 2. קורטום 2. כן, זה נראה לי ממש ענקי. כאילו, אשכרה אפשר את הדיטיילס של העיניים, של הג'אדג', של אפולו, קצת ווינסטון. נראה שזה יותר בזומין מאשר קודם.
Court, we now reconvene. Let's turn to Crystal Gavin. Will please take the stand?
Crystal.
Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Witness, state his name and occupation.
Is this far as necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, Apollo.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
Ooh! Phoenix Oddball! Wow! Won't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Oh! A classic!
But Mr. Wright!
What do you think you're doing, right? Oh, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second.
The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off.
Except for that one time.
That one time, being the instant he was hit. Oh,
So Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime. The hat was lying on the ground, on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, no doubt I've seen Mr. Smith's bald head. You would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime.
In other words, I must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I have the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see no reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
אז החמישי. מתי שהוא יהיה רלוונטי? Enraged, I sensed that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the low window to the hideout. It must have been where after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the film. Bald head, unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a ball in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Sir Gavin, I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify just as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through the little window. Is that right? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh!
You're right. The defense should do the cross-examination, not the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin.
This show is getting weirder and weirder. אני לא אהיה מופתע אם זה יהיה עוד יותר מוזר. ליטרלי הייתה קוסמת שבאה לפה. Since the wager sensed troubled me, so I returned. I went to the basement to peek through the little window. Stepping right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appeared. Bald head and unconscious girl right holding a ball. I think that was not the best place for me to be, so I left. That's when a call came from right. לא רייט, לא פיניקס עלה לקומה ראשונה? איך קוראים לסקשן הזה דרך אגב? The final cross-examination! Whoa! Okay.
Objection!
Nope. Okay. I tried. אני ניסיתי לעשות fast one, לא עבד. Why did the businessman and Pete?
Hold it!
The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes. A relic of the ancient past. The block marketeers used it, I believe. I didn't go through the trouble of peeking in through the window. Why would it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? Ah. I don't want to accept right, you see. That is the right? Yes. Why if my fears had been unfounded? Oh. Jackpot. Okay, חזרתי מסתר, huh? I've been walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything you say makes sense. Must have been right after the murder took place. Victor was dead as appeared in the photo. A bald head and a conscious girl on the right holding a ball in his hand.
Hold it!
Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least.
And we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? Why didn't you talk to the police?
Two reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
Oh! There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Just this, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. White said. Blah. Ah yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose the question then. Tell me. What possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us the reason why such a thing would be necessary? Oh! למה להחליף את הקלפים? בגלל ה-bloody ace! בגלל הקלף חמישי. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. לא אדום. back אדום ויש טיפה של דם. נראה לי זה מספיק סיבה. Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. Can I show something I can find myself? אני יודע מה זה. Remember, Paul, the card that was swapped out was the fifth face.
Fifth face. Right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap the cards has been raised. Can you point out the reason?
Yes! It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why the card was swapped out.
Then go ahead and point your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the fifth face?
What's that?
Take that!
My reason is, this.
Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade.
What?
This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing fifth ace?
Is that logic?
Inconceivable!
How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why Mr. Gavin's upset? It's just a fishy cat card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade after all.
Objection!
No! Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud will be the one who took the real card from this crime scene. The real killer. Oh! As long as I have forged evidence? Ja, logic is this a forged evidence? Aren't being unasked is נחשב forged evidence? כי אם בעצם הריל קילר לקח אותו, אז אין אף אחד. לאף אחד אמור להיות גישה לאס הזה. מפה האס הזה הוא בעצם forged evidence. The fuck? Allow me to elaborate. What if this chase of blood was the reason?
The reason for?
For the killer the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Take another look at the phone and the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor. And a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. And a drop of that blood, had fallen onto one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the body.
Objection!
Regardless, that evidence is not permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Well, we can discuss the finer prints of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. You know, I've told you.
Then one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection!
This baseless conjecture! Baseless!
Objection!
Oh! Oh, but I assure you, it's quite based.
What?
It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo,
Yes?
try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head.
Wow!
Zachadash!
Oh boy!
The murder took place in the hideout. The blood on the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there's one decisive problem with the scene.
Well, what is it?
Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with that bloody card? A bloody card?
Take that!
Well, okay.
רציתי לפתוח את הקוד רקורד בשביל להסתכל, אבל...
whatever. אם זה נופל והדם ירד ככה, אני 100% אעשה ריסטארט. options, load, אל תלווה אותי.
אוקיי. זה מביא אותי לפה.
כן, אם אדם נופל מהראש שלו מאחורה,
אם אדם נופל מאחורה.
Objection!
כן, אני לא רגיל לאובג'קציה של פיליקס, זה נשמע ממש אחר. מה שם האייס הטרנט של הג'י. אז אם אדם נפל על הקלף, אחרי שהראש נפל בעצם לאחורה, מתי שהראש נפל אחורה, אז כאילו ככה המצב של אדם, שככה אדם נוזל, אז אם ככה הווקטום הוא לא הגיוני, כי הקלף היה אמור להיות על השולחן. אי אפשר ללחוץ על זה בסוף. Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem?
I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice.
Well, look! The victim was struck with the head, setting him back in his chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, and onto the table in front of him. Ah. Take a look at the photo again. If you bled in this position, the blood will fall on the floor, not on the cards.
Ken.
That's right. So, what does this mean?
Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs.
Swivel chairs? Oh man.
Apollo, try turning the chair around.
Oh. You know.
the chair was facing the other way.
It would have to be. כי אז אחר כך לא יהיה לוג'יק שהדם ייפול. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table.
When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing?
When I came back to the room,
The body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around.
let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction.
Again?
Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location in this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose location creates a contradiction with the victim when the victim was facing away?
אם הוא נפגע ככה, אז הקילר.
Take that!
The victim was struck from the front, correct?
Indeed.
Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Seeing where his indicator currently is?
I would think it's quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting, as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram.
What?
But there's no room to mark where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we got. See what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget everything else. Where would the killer have been staying to strike a victim from the front?
אם מתעלמים מכל מה שעומד, זה פה.
Take that!
The killer had to be saying, well, here.
You get the points for a flare, but that's about all you get.
I was onto something there too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ah!
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer would have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime.
Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there.
What's this now?
I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. Shall arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately.
Bailiff, send the team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cardboard.
Ah, Your Honor,
What?
there's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff.
מה זה?
Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
I do my best.
מה שלחת?
But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, and this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Hello? Try moving the cupboard. Okay. Thank you. As you can see, the cardboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been shown here.
There's a window נחסם!
Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this?
What is it now?
Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact.
Huh? All day!
Notice something, Apollo?
המקום של הוויטנס השני עכשיו חסום!
Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point out the new contradicting indicator. The victims, the killers, the witness, no second witness. Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime?
ה-second witness. כי עכשיו אתה לא יכולת לראות. cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah, that's right. Someone staying outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense attorney in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was. While the window to that room was blocked by the cardboard. And someone was while it was covered. Okay, stop. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you would like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law, and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigation team at the Borscht Ball Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor.
Oh, and what did they find?
Oh, Your Honor. It turns out there is a secret passage behind it.
What?
Ah! Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something on the show before. This is one of the tricks to the room of many of our regulars know about. I remember him saying something about that now that he mentioned it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So, the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops. And a giant cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Interesting. See where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it. I don't believe it. The girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Oh, and say something.
Dare I ask what really happened that night?
Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting just for the right moment. And the chance came, and he took it. Ah! Oh. Eee! Again. Who did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Now the killer stepped out from the secret passageway into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. Well, of course,
realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spout of blood told the whole story of the crime.
But for him, it didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, might have noticed the cards on the floor. The fact that they were all red. Whoa. Okay.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I have to see this day to come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Bay! Yes, Your Honor? Prosecution will continue in its investigation. As for Mr. Felix Wright, the defendant, he is by cleared of all suspicion.
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening,
Mr. Gavin. But the circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest. Immediately.
Objection!
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. Not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked. A person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. It's hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proved anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is to use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else.
And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence.
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This ball, for instance.
The ball of which Mr. Wright was drinking.
How good then to put away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the ball were upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier.
What? In this case, demand an explanation.
I can think of only one reason why the ball would be... Well, one would hold the ball upside down. That is to hit someone with the palm of the ball. Well, Your Honor. See how the codfish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo.
Yes?
Boss seems awfully concerned about this ball still. Well, I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation.
Just like that.
Yeah!
Just like what?
Why would anyone grab a ball upside down? Turn into...
Don't let him trick you into thinking the explanation is the only legitimate one.
Is there really another?
Take another look at the court record. I believe you will find a simple answer there, in plain sight.
How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed.
Well, Mr. Justice?
Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demanded an explanation.
Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done.
Perhaps an offense would care to enlighten the court? What evidence they have to explain that why the fingerprints of the ball are upside down?
כאילו, כן יש את הבקבוק פה, אבל אם אני אתעלם מהבקבוק פה, זו התמונה היחידה שיש בעצם בקבוקים. שעל פי לוקיישן, יותר קל יהיה לפינקס לקחת בקבוקים מככה, מלמטה, בשביל לשתות אותם באופן כללי. אז כאילו יד יורד למטה לקחת בקבוק במקום זה. אז הנה. Let's go.
Take that!
Actually easier to show than explain, Your Honor. Place the ball on the floor next to your chair.
Excuse me, on the floor?
Yes. Now reach down and pick it up without getting out of your chair.
Ah,
See? You naturally go to pick up the ball by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Perfect. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, balls of grape chips on the floor to the side of his piano bench. Would have naturally picked up the balls upside down several times.
whoa. Can't believe it was that simple.
We call our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too.
Basically, you used the ball on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the balls under the piano. And you switched the balls. You took out Mr. Wright's balls and made it look like the murder weapon.
Or. What do you have to say to those charges, Mr. Gavin?
Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection.
What?
You claimed I switched the ball. Where's your proof?
Proof?
Well, that's it! What's the thought? More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your ball of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
I won't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation?
Ah, yes. I remember about that here.
Retrieve the balls from under the piano at the Bush Ball Club.
And here's one of the balls in question.
What? Are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I'll be surprised if any were on but his.
Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. Well, but won't bear a trace of anything.
Say, Apollo,
Yes?
why don't you go ahead and examine that ball?
But why?
Just humor me.
Mr. Wright.
The ball will solve this case once and for all.
What? That's a bottle? Oh, yeah. יש ספק inside the bottle. זה 5 לבבות. What's this?
God! Can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment.
Miss Olga Orley?
Yes. Her little swindling Devochka. Слыхал.
Planting the card. Wait, this isn't. You tell me that this is the card that you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony?
Ken,
יצא קלף, הכניס את זה לבקבוק. 5 לבבות.
Five of hearts. This is the card. The balls were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa! Okay. GG ניצחתי, easy. Okay. GG easy.
That's all. Is the idea of revenge Phoenix right?
Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago?
My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point to the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. We would have this little tete-tete, right?
This is insane! Wow, me! Don't get to prosecute anyone!
Schrik, Christoph. Get fucked.
I believe this time we'll finally come to the end of our trial.
Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He's admitted everything. We're proceeding his arrest now.
See. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
אין לו מוטיב, כן, אבל... הוא בעצם מי שעצר.
None that we know of.
That's right. Have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter.
This victim, Mr. Shady Smith. The occupation was listed as traveler. Not professional, to be sure. And that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good.
Mr. Wright?
Yes?
7 years. You still haven't lost your touch.
Christoph Gavin was a man with such significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer.
But extremely talented, to be sure.
And he had two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice could be tolerated. This courtroom. And the second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo.
Me?
This is a dark time for our legal system. The twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. You have to say it right. It's right. Work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
וואו! זה היה קל. ייי. מתי היה פעם אחת שאני ראיתי קונפטי? אני לא יודע. אני די בטוח שאפילו לא היה קונפטי לטריאל של האיירס, אז... Yes, some people tell about it is? אני לא יודע.
Court is adjourned.
האם היה קונפטי? זה לא משנה, זה אפילו לא היה אנדינג. האנדינג היה בכלל אז זה קורה טמפל. 20 באפריל 28, דסטיקו, דפנד לובי 3.
Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would.
Pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there.
It was you who called Mr. Gavin, the killer.
I couldn't have done it by myself. You started it too today, didn't you? Your ability.
Ability?
Yes. A sensitivity I lack. You will come to understand it soon enough.
Wait, I wonder if he means... a vibe.
Let's just call them a perceive.
What was that, Mr. Right?
You have to find the answer to that question yourself.
The answer? Right. There was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin.
What possible reason could he have had to commit the crime? Perhaps you'll understand that in the days to come.
Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you?
This locket is the key.
Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket.
Yeah.
הקפצה הכחול. Your daughter, right?
That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket.
Huh?
I took this off his neck the night he died. That looks like a dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him.
Wait, that's perjury! You testified! You said the locket was yours!
I said no such thing, actually.
Huh?
I merely said it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside.
A locket, לא my locket. בטוח?
A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And into the truth.
אני מרגישה ש5 אבל זה היה perjury.
Wait,
But then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it?
sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career.
Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work at Gavin Law offices after all. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin led away in handcuffs. ואתה זה שעשית את זה, אפולו, get fucked.
Apollo,
Yes?
how about coming to work for me?
Huh? You mean at the Ryan Call Law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it.
I can't imagine that to be true, but...
Wait, but didn't you... You're not a...
Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. רגע, שנייה אחת.
Okay, סליחה, חזרתי. That incident 7 years ago. The legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Maya, but case. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts?
I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Did you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged that...
Bruh! אמרתי את זה. Forged evidence? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. Just seemed, well, too perfect. How about this was a professional.
Take that!
You mean this, don't you? This from your daughter, Mr. Right? Yes. The card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. Okay. הסיבה שכריסטוף לא המשיך עם הנושא הזה שזה forged evidence זה בגלל שהלוג'יק של ה-forged evidence יעשה אינדיקטור על זה שהוא בעצם יהיה הקולפרט. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. You really? Yes. I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that! Can you call yourself an attorney? Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? It's true. The rumor is true! 7 years ago! None of that matters much now, does it? Ah! What's it? Whoa, my car. Oh my god, Apollo! Was it boom trach the factor of her car? Oh wow. I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for the day. I had a good time. Ah! And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. Well, mysteries went unsolved. And, at the time, I had no idea how they all related. Every mystery that day connected by a single thread of logic. I figured that out soon enough. My name is Paul Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. Okay. ייי. טרבל טראמפ. ועכשיו אני מתחיל בטרבל קורנר. אז אני אשים את הלב של היום פה. בלי שום טיזים, בלי שום דבר, אני פשוט אסיים את הלייב של היום פה. אז כן. כאן היה ירין, ניפגש בסרטון עוד הבא של גיימס, מקווה שנהנתם וירין. אאוט. ביי חברים, מקווה שאתם נהנים.